Hello and welcome back. Today we are going to be making this bird in a semi-bird house mold. This mold came, like most of the other molds I have, from Temu. I did see there were some little specks in there, so we're going to take some packing tape and just start off by giving it a little bit of a pat down to get whatever's in there out, so that we don't end up with that in the finished product. We measured this out using water and our scale, and it came to about 175 ml. So we are going to go ahead and do about that and see where it gets us. What we have today is we are going to be using these mica powders. We're going to use dark red, and we're going to paint in the heart area, and then we are going to use this red gold and this I believe that's supposed to be khaki. It's misspelled on the label, but it's like a yellowish color and then a reddish gold, and that's going to be for the bird. One thing that we just got, and it is a sample pack of eye candy pigment powders, and these powders are shades of brown, black, and steel and gray. These are just samples, so they're small packs, and you see here's like Cara brown, and I will put in a link where you can get sample packs as well as powders from eye candy. It is an affiliate link, so there is a little bit that I earn back when you make purchases. But if you like what this looks like, please by all means support them, and we're going to give these a try. So for the birdhouse, we're going to use this Cara brown. I'm going to bring it up a little bit closer to the, you can see the swirls in the brown, make it look like wood. So we're going to use that for the birdhouse, and then the three colors for the bird. So with that said, and we'll show this off in a moment what's inside, but for now we're going to use this Cara brown, and then we're going to get started. So we're going to, I think we're about 175 mLs, so we'll probably go about 180 to make it a little easier. We'll tear that down, zero it out. We'll start with our Let's Resin 2-part. So this is part A, and we'll do 90. We'll probably do a little bit more than that just because. Let's go 95. If we have extra, we have some molds that we can do. 95 mLs of A, and it looks like it just went to 96. We'll zero it out again, and we'll go 96 of part B. Almost. $96. All right, so we are going to give that a stir. For about 5 minutes, and once we're done that, we'll be right back. All right, we are back after our 5 minutes of stirring, and what we are going to do first is put a little bit of the dark red mica powder. We want to paint that little heart area, so we're just going to get a little bit of mica powder in here and try not to do what we just did, which was drop it all over. We'll clean it up in a second. So we're just going to paint that heart in with the mica powder. And then we will get our baby wipes and we'll wipe off the outer part of it. We just want this heart to be colored in when we pour. So, in a moment. Have our baby wipe, and just carefully we're going to wipe around the outer edge, and try not to do what we're doing, we're just getting it everywhere. And we'll probably get a towel and dry it off. There we go, a little bit of red in the heart. Alright, so first things first, when we measured out the volume for the bird, it came to about 60 mLs. So what we're going to do is we're going to separate, we're going to get 30 and 30, and then we're going to put the colors, the mica powder in, and then we're going to add one little drop of glue to each one because we don't want them to blend, we want them to kind of swirl. So we're going to take our scale and we've got some Dixie cups. I'm going to zero it out. We're just going to put about 30 in there. Alright, so there's 30. And we'll get about 30 in this one. $28. 29. 30. All right, we're going to set that aside for a moment. We are done with the scale, and so let's start with the red gold. We're just gonna put the red gold in there. Let's use a little bit more. Make sure it's nicely mixed in there. Close up our powder so we don't make a mess, and then we're going to get our clear glue. And we're just going to give it just a little drop on the stick. You can see that's becoming very soup-like, so very, very gloopy. So now we're going to take our yellowish color, see that. And then we're going to put a drop of glue into this one. We don't want this to fall over and make a mess. Alright, so we have our red gold and our little yellowish color. And we're going to pinch these off, and we're just going to kind of blend them in a little bit. So we'll pour and we're just going to pour it in randomly until it's full. Get some of that reddish color up there. And we're going to have some of that left. It's pretty nice. And we got a new torch lighter. All right. Now, what we're going to do is, with this carob brown, we are going to mix that in the remainder of our resin. And I like how this is packaged. They actually package the samples with a bag within a bag. So, I want to be careful when we open this so that it settles and not all over our hands and all over our work area. So let's see how much we need in here. I think the sample is 5 grams with each color, but as you can see, we didn't really use a whole lot of it. You can see in the, see if you can see that in the light. It's really pretty. It's got a neat effect to it. I'm going to get that nice and stirred up. I'll let that sit for just a moment because I want to put a little bit more here in the tail. You see a spot that didn't look like it's completely filled. That's better. And since we're not really worried about this settling, we won't need to use glue. So let's just pour it in the mold. It's got a really nice shimmer to it too. So hopefully trying to get a kind of a wood appearance to it, or at least that swirl to it. Alright, so we have a lot extra. We just don't want it to overflow into our bird. Alright, let's give that a quick torch. And then we will give it a spray of our isopropyl alcohol. All right, and since we still have some left, where is our bear? Here's our handy dandy little hug bear that we will include when we start making some sails. Pour some in there, we'll get our stick in. Put the rest of the yellow in there. Then we'll top it off with that brown. And then we still have a lot of brown left, so we're gonna need to do something else with it. All right, let's find some other small mold to use. So one of the molds that we had last time, we talked about doing in our mystery mold, was this multiple-piece cat puzzle. And it has three cats and a heart, so I think we have enough to fill at least one of them. that'll get us started on that project. Oops, too much, too much, too much. And we still have more. Let's see. Well, we have this skull that has been filled and it's not a whole lot left, so we're gonna let's just put it in there. All right, so we've got our little partial, one of our 3 cat pieces. We poured some in the skull. We made our bear. We've got our bird and our birdhouse. It's going to go together. And with that, we will be back in about 24 hours to see the results. See you in a moment. All right, we are back to do our demolding. We have our bird and the birdhouse. We have our 1 piece of our 3-piece, 4-piece, 3 cats and a heart, and our bear. That will go with anything that we have sold through the Etsy page. So let's just start by setting free the bear and seeing how it looks. Oops. Slippery little bugger. Kind of cute with the yellow and the red, and then you can see the kind of the wood color that finished it out, like hints of gold. Get a little closer there, and we'll fill in that bottom with some UV resin. All right, and we'll do the cat next. So we're going to do the other 2 pieces, and then eventually what will happen is they'll fit in together. So it's going to be kind of like that, and then the little cat will go in the middle. You can kind of see how that fits. So we'll do those soon. And then the one that I was most excited for. So we'll start by demolding the birdhouse. So there is the birdhouse. Got some sparkles to it. You can see the notch where the bird will go, and you can see in the sun, in the light, you can see how that gold little tiny bubble thing right there. Not too bad. And then we can file out the back. And then the bird. And that's where we painted the red with the mica powder. Came out cute. It's got a nice yellow and reddish orange color. And then what's going to happen is we're going to seal that in, and it's going to sit like this. We'll probably use some UV resin to kind of lock it in there. And then we've got some twine, and we'll take the twine and we'll make a hanger out of it. So what we're going to do is grab our UV resin and our UV lamp and hook that together. We'll be right back. Alright, we have our UV resin and we have a flashlight, a UV light, and what we're going to do is we're going to set this on this box, and that way we can put the bird on there how we want it, and you'll see it's got enough space to hold it there. So hopefully you're able to see that as best we can. So we're going to take a little bit of UV resin, and so that we can keep it under, we're going to put it right here on the underside of the bird itself, since that's the part that's going to be making contact with the piece. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to set him on there, and hopefully this may or may not work. What we may ultimately need to do is get some super glue and super glue it on. Let's see if we can go from underneath. Hopefully you're not seeing my head like you did earlier in the videos. So we're just going to shine this light, UV light, on it for a little bit and see if that will lock it down. And it looks like it already is. We're going to pick this up and just try to get that light in there from underneath. We could also probably take it outside for a little bit. And just shoot that light on each side of it for a moment. And it looks like it's in there pretty sturdy. So, last thing we are going to do is get some twine, which we have some twine here. And we're not going to make it too long of a hanger for now. Just going to put that twine through there. Then, for now, we're just going to give it a knot. What we can do also is a little bit of UV resin on the knot, but in the meantime, we have our little bird on a birdhouse. This will likely go up on the Etsy store soon. There will be a link to it, as well as a link to the sampler set of the pigment powders. And if you enjoyed this, please hit the like button, and then if you'd like to be notified when more videos come up, hit that subscribe button. Again, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.